Okay, today we're going to see how we can create a drawing of a car or an automobile. This method I'm going to use is pretty straightforward. We can use it to draw a car or anything else. So the first thing I do is select an image of a car that I'm going to base my illustration on. If you're using Google, you should use search tools. Go to your any size and choose large. Then you should have these different choices. Find your car you want to draw. Do not take the thumbnail image. This image is usually okay here. Your best bet would be to click on View Image and then take the actual image that shows up. So I could take this and either drag it to my folder or right click and save it in my folder. Make sure you get a large image to work from. I already have some images here in my folder. And next I'm going to open Illustrator, make a new file, and call it Auto Illustration. You can call it whatever you want. I'm just going to have one artboard. It's going to be for print. I'm going to measure this by inches. And you can do whatever size you want. I'm going to do 11 by 20 inches. This one I have enough room to work with. And I'm going to say OK. Next, I'm going to place that image of that car I selected. I can also click and drag it in here, but I'm going to go to File, Place, find my folder, find my car. There it is. I'm going to make sure it's not linked here. Deselect link, and you could import it as a template, which would show at 50% opacity. But I like it at full opacity, so I can say Place. Okay, I can place that wherever I want. This one's a pretty huge image. I'm just going to shrink it down a little. I can hold the Shift key down, grab the corner, and then I can shrink that down. If I hold the Shift key down, it'll maintain the proportion so it won't distort it. A little too small. Should be good. I just want enough room so I can draw over here and drag stuff over here if I need to. Alright, I'm going to zoom in a little bit as I draw. Okay, let's look at the Layers menu. I want to have the Layers menu open, either over here or Window, Layers. I'm going to deselect this so I can access that whenever I need to. Here's layer 1. That's just the car image, the car photo. I'm going to lock that layer. Click in here because I don't want to accidentally move that layer. I'm going to make a new layer. I could change the name of that layer if I wanted to. I should try to work in somewhat of an organized way, even though it's easy to get off your organization as we work. Alright, but main thing, I locked that photo layer and I have a new layer that I'm going to draw on. I can do just a few simple methods for this. We're actually going to trace this car. There's many different ways to go about illustrating different objects, people, cars, anything. But I'm going to show you one way that works pretty good for me. And one of the main things we're going to do is use the pen tool. And we're going to trace some of the main shapes of this car and work from there. So I clicked on my pen tool. The hotkey for that is P. And when I draw, I like to have no fill. And I like to have a dark color or black color for drawing for the strokes. I usually set that at 1 point or lower, maybe 0.25. I'll draw with just strokes, no fill. Then I'll come back later and change all the colors, get rid of the strokes if I want to. I'm just going to leave it at 1 point now so it's easier to see what I'm doing. Zoomed in a little bit and moved around. So basically we're just going to draw different shapes and then fill those in. And if you've ever done it painting before or drawing, quite often you start by building up the back shapes and moving forward. So we're going to try to do that as much as possible. And so first thing I'm going to do is just get an overall basic shape of the base of the car. What we're going to do is draw mostly shapes with our pen tool. Now the pen tool, remember, I can do a click, 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 let go, click, let go, click, let go. And then close that shape by clicking on the original anchor. So I can draw shapes with the pen tool. I can fill them with colors later. I drew a shape with all straight lines by doing the click, 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 closing the shape. Now if I want curves, I can do click, click, hold the mouse and drag, click, hold and drag, click, hold and drag. Oh, what if I wanted a straight line here? You see I can't do that because the previous curve affects the next one. What I can do is position my cursor over that last anchor, click there, and now I can do a straight line. Click curve. If I want a straight, I can click here. Now I can do a straight line. So I can make any shape I want. To come back later and change the shape, there's a couple ways. Over here on my toolbar, I can click on my selection tool and move that selection around. I can select to my direct selection tool. Then I can select specific anchors and change them. I can also select these handles and move those around. Anchors are like your dot-to-dot points. The handles guide the curves. If I wanted to remove the anchors, I can do that with the direct selection tool. The hotkey for the direct selection tool is A. The hotkey for the selection tool is V. Now, what if I wanted to take away some of these anchors or add some anchors? If I went back to my pen tool, P, if I position my pen tool over an existing anchor and click, it'll take it away. If I position over a line segment that does not have an anchor, see the plus sign on there, I can click on that. Now I can add an anchor and go back to my direct selection tool and move that around. If I see there's a curve here, but I want to switch it to a straight line or a corner, I can hold down Shift C. Now I can convert that. Here's a curve, I can convert that. Here's a corner now, I can click and drag with my convert anchor tool and convert it out into a curve. So there's several different ways I can use my pen tool to create shapes. Okay, going back to my selection tool, I'm going to select these shapes and then delete these. Now let's go ahead and draw this automobile.